Hey guys, so today's topic is talking about building cloud architecture diagrams with code. All right, so the old-fashioned how we create diagrams is using tools based on drag and drop, and creating architecture diagram with traditional graphical tools can be a hassle sometimes. Drag and drop interfaces are frustrating, achieving perfect alignment is a challenge, and versioning becomes a nightmare. That's why we have a new concept uh, which called diagram as a code, uh, which offers a solution allowing diagrams to be written with coding precision, versioned like a code, and generated effortlessly. This approach simplifies diagramming tasks and brings order to the chaos. I would like to mention some of the main benefits of this concept. The first one is writing diagrams instead of drawing them. Making diagrams with code feels like a natural and quick task, so we could define relationship and layouts precisely without struggling with tricky user interface. And mainly, you can leverage AI tools to generate the code for you. We have ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot. The second one is reusability, so you can reuse the view of the part for your next project. Of course, we have versioning like code, so storing the diagrams alongside the application code in Git, which make it easy to track changes and go back to the previous version whenever needed. Automating the diagram generation, so since we have a code, we can add the diagram creation to the CI/CD pipeline, means the diagram will be always up to date, which eliminates any manual work and reduces the errors. And we have customizing the diagram easily, so it's a very simple and easy to tweak diagram styles and elements to match any preferences and project needs. So with that, let's jump to the technical demonstration, and the first thing we will do is to clone the diagram package from GitHub. Alright guys, so the first thing I will do here is just create a folder, diagram as code demo. So we'll go to this folder, just zoom in here, and yeah, just open it with VS Code. Okay, so the first thing I will do is to create a Python. So our code will be written in Python, so I will create a Python environment package like this, something like this. Just create it, for example, diagram as code. So this is where we will install all the necessary libraries that we need for this. So okay, we have our VS Code here, diagram as code. Since we created the environment for diagram as code, we will need to activate this environment so we can install all the package that we need here. We will just need source diagram as code bin activate. And yeah, as you can see here, we are in this environment, and we need to install pip diagrams. All right, so that was successful, and yeah, the diagrams package is here. Okay, so let's jump to the next step. And after that, we will install Graphviz, which is a package that we need to render the diagram. All right, so we need to install the Graphviz in our machine, which is a tool to render the diagrams. This is the official documentation for the tool. So if we just go here, so yeah, Graphviz is open source graph visualization software. Yeah, it depends on your operating system, which is depends like Linux, Windows, or Mac OS. This is like very straightforward. You just need to install it. For me, like I have a Mac OS, I just used bro install Graphviz, and yeah, just to confirm that is working, you just need to do dot dash v. You would have a version here. All right. We have everything in place. The next step would be going through the steps for writing the code to create our diagram. Okay, guys, so right now I will show you the steps how to write the code manually. It's very easy. You just need to know about around like 6 items, like key items like diagram, cluster, edge, and few symbols. Okay, so I have like this README that I will be available on the GitHub repository. The first thing that you should know is the diagram, which is the top level container of the diagram. For example, we have this code. The S3 to RDS refers to the file name of the image to save. We have a direction, so for example, in this case, it will start building the containers from left to right if we define LR, and RL, which is right to left or top to bottom, are option you can use if needed. You can use the format of the output: PNG, GPG, SVG, PDF. Okay, moving on, we have the cluster, which is the second level container. So you can specify the name of the label of the container. For example, we have with cluster, so it would be just one container, and you just like create your icons inside the container. Um, and we have the edge. The edge would be for example, if we do this symbol, would be right pointed arrow or edge. So if we do like, for example, this code event bridge, edge label triggers to the lambda. So we would have like an icon of event bridge, which is be pointing to the lambda. This would be left pointed, so the other direction. And if we do this symbol, we just have a without direction or bidirectional. Yeah, it's not something very complicated. I will show you some code that I've written to generate a diagram. So just do demo.py. All right, so we have our code here. This is like a very simple architecture that all that do it shows like the serverless approach from S3 to RDS, how to store data, etc., etc. Yeah, just have the first level here diagram, like the file name, the direction that I use, and the output out format. Have two clusters, so this one cluster, the second cluster would be here. This is like the top level clusters. So we have like an on-premise application and then AWS, and within AWS we will create all the clusters. All right, so this is not too difficult to understand once I generated the diagram. So all we need, so we have everything ready to go. The last step would be just generate the diagram when we just need to execute our code. Diagram. So all we need to do is um, open the terminal. Okay, I have the terminal here. Go to the diagram as code and just execute the file. All right, as you can see here, we have our file generated within seconds. And yeah, this is like first cluster, second cluster, uh, which apply to these two lines. So we have with cluster on-premise application, which is gonna be this, and this is the AWS cluster, and within this cluster we'll have like one cluster, two clusters. Okay, and yeah, this is like there's like different icons like S3 lambda function, and everything is available here. You just need to know like the direction of the flow of your services, and yeah, you just have like a very simple architecture that's easy to understand.